Okay, so we're off on sortie number 2 here, and the objective is to get some landings in, and this is the first attempt, and I want to stop it like right away here so you can see something. So the VW is turning the opposite direction of other engines, and so I don't know if I'm just so used to inputting right rudder like automatically or what, but you can see that I already feel the plane going one direction, and so I'm kind of making a correction the other way, and I had pretty much left rudder there, but I've got to get used to being on that left rudder a lot quicker. So at this point, I've obviously been checking temperatures and everything and just making sure that everything's running as it should, and it has been, except for my EGTs. They're not running hot enough, so I've got to change that. And this, I think my decision point is just past half runway here is probably my most comfortable place where I can land anywhere. Beyond that, and probably could even go a lot further, but for now my comfort zone is as long as everything's good. When I hit halfway, then I'm still good. So I'll just kind of let this pattern go until we get to the approach end. Now I was the only one in the pattern, so I was the only one in the pattern, so the tower actually just allowed me to fly a close approach. So I was basically starting my turn at the numbers, just intentionally trying to stay high and picking my landing spot more toward the that first 1,000-foot mark instead of going out further and trying to come in and hit the numbers. So that's why you see me coming in really high here, and I'm actually making these descents at about 60 miles an hour just to make sure I was carrying enough speed. Next flight out, I'll actually back that off to probably 55 miles an hour and see how that works out. So the first landing here, the purpose is just to get the wheels down and then get back on the power and get back in the air. And this was pretty good. But once again, I got a little bit of a drift to the right because once I applied power and that P factor took over, it I wasn't on that left rudder quick enough. So now here on my next approach, there was a Learjet coming in, so the tower cleared me to do a couple 360s. He was on about a 2 or 3 mile final, and so this just allowed me to have some time for the air to settle after he landed. So I just did a couple 360s here. Off my nose there, right there is kind of back toward Palmdale, where Lockheed Martin and Northrop Grumman are, and where actually the B-21 flew for the first time the day before I had my first flight in the same airspace, which is not lost on me. It's kind of cool to be flying here, obviously. And you can see out to the north, kind of over those mountains, right over there is Bakersfield, and then when you get to all the way around to the north here, it's Tehachapi. It's kind of coming up off my left wing. It's out that way. Mojave is like straight ahead out that way. So as I come around this second turn, you can actually you'll see the Learjet coming in kind of underneath my left wing there. And there he goes. So my intent on this landing is to actually get the plane back in, get it completely landed and on the center line, get it stabilized on the center line before I applied power and took off again. And you can see I went out just a little bit further that time than I did on the last one, but I'm still coming in about 60 miles an hour, so I'm carrying plenty of speed. And but when I have 7,000 feet in front of me, I'm not concerned about the float. I'm just concerned about being conservative. So I get down. Everything looks really good and stabilized here. And here's where I really need to improve. And I'm going to stop the video right here, because if you can take a look, if I'm down here and I'm in really good shape, but if you look at my tail, my stick is not back all the way. So this is where I made a mistake on this particular landing, and I didn't get that stick back. If I would have, I would have had much better positive control, which is what I've been practicing. And I probably wouldn't have had this drift that I had over to the left, which is what's about to happen. It's because the tail is kind of off the ground, moving around, and I just don't have, you could see I was moving the rudders, but I wasn't getting the control inputs that I was expecting because my tail wasn't pinned to the ground. So definitely work on that next time out after that touchdown, getting that stick back. And clearly this is only my second time in the airplane, so I have a lot of things going on. So I'm not surprised by any of this. It's just, I appreciate having these videos so I can actually keep an eye on, I can actually see what's happening. And so this is my my third and final landing. This one actually turned out a lot better. I did have a little slight swerve, but I was able to arrest it with that, getting positive control on that tail wheel right after it happened. I think I was just carrying a little too much speed on this one, so I just came over to the left a little bit, but I was able to get right back on top of it. And that's really what's important here is I've got gobs of runway, so this is the perfect place to work on centerline control on these landings, so that as I venture out and I go to some smaller airports, I'll be conditioned for that. I'm just learning to fly this plane, really. It's very different than a Citabria. It's a lot easier in a lot of ways, but certainly a blast to fly. But I just have to learn it, and that's what I'm doing with these videos, and you get to follow along and watch them as well. So one of the things I had mentioned earlier that I wanted to show you is when I'm in the cockpit. I mentioned this on my other video. I'm actually using ForeFlight on my phone, and I'm using this armband. Let me show it to you here. It just wraps around your forearm or wherever you want to put it, and it puts my phone right here when I'm on my throttle, and it's just real easy to just pick it up and take a real quick look. And so I tried the iPad in the cockpit, and it's just too small of a cockpit for an iPad. The iPad was too big. It just didn't work. So this is an absolute perfect solution, and I highly recommend it. I'll put a link in the description to where you can get it on Amazon. It's very inexpensive, and this is a great place to put ForeFlight and get it close to my eyes. All right. So today's objective was just get a few landings in after the first landing in the first flight video. I just wanted to come out today, and it was just beautiful this evening. There was no wind, and I wanted to see just kind of improve on the landing. So I got three landings in, and my channel has always been about learning, and you can watch me build and learn things from that. You're going to get to watch me fly, and some of you will learn things from that. And after the fact, I will say my touchdowns were so much better than the first flight touchdown. And what I realized is in the Minimax, if you come into that round out with just a little bit of power, and Rob was actually sharing this with me, everything just kind of slows down. Nothing happens really fast, and so you have a lot more time to kind of settle into getting the plane closer to the ground without just dropping out of the sky. And so I was able to do that today, which made a huge improvement in the touchdown. They were a lot smoother. I won't say they were perfect, but they were a lot smoother. But then after I was down, you'll see in the video that I didn't plant my tail. I didn't get my stick full back, and I'm so used to doing that. I don't really know why I didn't, except for I knew I was doing touch and goes, and so I was cleared for the option, so I could have just kind of stopped and then started again, but I didn't. So I ended up doing some swervies out there, and then all of a sudden it clicked in my mind. I'm like, man, it's because you don't have your tail down is why you're having this problem. So once I got that stick full back, it just like everything clicked right into place, and I realized what was going on. So yeah, so thanks for hanging out with me, and now that the plane's in the air, what a joy to be able to hop in this and go flying, and I'm just really enjoying it. So all right, cool. Well, I will catch you later.